All right, I'd like to call this special meeting of the board to order. If you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Our clerk pro tem, please call the roll.
Trustee Sturba,
Here.
Trustee Sluse, Trustee Sandberg,
Here.
Trustee Richards, here, Trustee Marevka, here, Trustee Hudson,
Here.
and Mayor March.
Here.
And also is the attorney and the police chief.
All right, public comments. So our first item on the agenda, approve intergovernmental agreement between County of Will and the Village of Peatone for the provision of animal protection services. This is just a renewal of the agreement that we've had in the past, and since we were having this meeting, we just threw this on the agenda because they wanted to get this signed, so I need a motion to approve that.
Motion.
Moved by trustee Richards, second by trustee Sturba.
Trustee Hudson,
Yes.
Trustee Marevka, yes. Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, next we have a discussion on village administrator search process and review the job description. So first off, I just want to say I want to thank Amy Ingalls for her 5+ years of service to the village, and we wish her well in her new position. So in your packet there was, is that out?
No, it went off. Okay, so sorry about this, Stacy.
That's okay. We, in your job, I'm sorry, in your packet there is a current job description. The only thing that I think we need to change on that is on the top of it, there's something that says exempt status, and it says no, but it is an exempt position. Correct?
Correct, it absolutely is.
Yeah, so that was sent in, I believe, a subsequent email. Is that in your pack? Do you guys have that in there? The job description?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any comments on that job description at all?
I mean, I think it pretty well covers it.
Yeah.
I didn't really have anything to add.
Yeah, I think we put this together when we did 2 searches ago, so that was in 15. So, even though it's 9 years old, I think it still pretty covers what needs to be done, so. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I also had Stacy send you what our current ordinance reads. There's basically the same kind of thing that's in the job description, but I want everybody to be aware of that there is something in the ordinance about the position. The one thing that I do want to talk about, we aren't going to make a decision today about it, but there is a provision in there that the administrator's contract cannot run past the current mayor's term. So obviously my term is up in May, and it might hamper our efforts to get a new person in here because we can't really, offer a longer contract than that, so I don't know if you want to
I can
comment
chime in on that. We are able to offer a 1-year contract, even though that will exceed your term by, well, let's say we did it this month.
Yeah.
All right, then it would be July to July. So we are, under the municipal code, able to give a 1-year contract, but we can't give a longer contract that would exceed the term of the mayor. Okay? So, just to be clear, we would have the flexibility to go 1 year. I looked at that to see if there was another way to go, and there really isn't. The municipal code is pretty clear on it.
Okay.
So that's where you can go.
Does everyone like that it runs in conjunction with the mayor's term, or is that something you want to change eventually? I don't know, I saw a bunch of mixed items in the other towns, so I just wanted to open that up for discussion in case somebody felt it was time for a change.
That's statutory.
Okay?
Yeah, it almost has to be that way.
Okay.
It's statutory. Home rule has a different, they
Oh,
can-
the home rule could do what they want with that.
Pretty much, yes. Whereas a non-home rule entity, we have to comply with the municipal code, and
Okay.
that's,
Oh, okay.
that's.
I didn't
Alright,
realize
that's
that
a
that
good
was just
question.
our ordinance. Yeah, okay.
The 1 year sounds fantastic.
Okay.
Then.
So then,
Well,
so theoretically
I
then,
don't
in May, when the new mayor is seated,
mhm.
you could then extend the contract to 4
Absolutely.
years, and or whatever,
Yes.
however long you want,
Up
then,
to
up to
the-
4
Okay.
years.
Up to 4 years
Yeah.
after that, yes, that's correct. And even though your term will be up in April,
Mhm.
we can go 1 year. So
Okay.
the municipal code there gives at least that flexibility,
Good,
because a person, honestly, let's say you had to do it in February of next year,
yeah,
they wouldn't want a contract for
3 months.
3
yeah.
months. I
Yeah.
mean, nobody would give up a job for that,
Right.
so it's 1 year
Okay.
is the maximum we can do at this point.
Okay. Any questions on that at all, guys? Okay. Let's see, what else? So, the way this usually works is that we develop this job description that we have, and then, we have to decide whether we're gonna try to do the process ourselves, advertising and, interviewing and doing all that stuff ourselves, or the other possibility is hiring a search firm like we did for chief, when we went through that last year. So I included the packet from GovHR that kind of describes all the different options for that. I went through this process twice before, and the first time we did it, we tried to do it ourselves, and to be honest with you, the quality of candidates was not that great. The second time we went through it, we kind of used a search firm. It was kind of, we still did a lot of the work ourselves, so anyway, that's kind of, it's something that we have to decide. If we can't get somebody ourselves like right away, then we kind of have to decide which way we want to go with that.
So are you saying just try to do it ourselves and then hire somebody?
Well, I'm saying we've got a couple possibilities
Okay.
like right away, but if we don't have if we just don't have somebody that we can plug in there, then I think we have to
Okay.
decide what we want to do, because, and then the other thing, those searches take time, so if we can't get somebody right away, you're probably looking at 3 months at least to do a search. And so something else we'll have to think about if that happens is, do we hire an interim manager? Those are available, again, from GovHR. They have them come in a couple days a week or something, just to make sure all the HR keeps, happening the way it should, and, being able to work with Stacy, put together the agenda, and with the attorneys, making sure everything's running smoothly. So, that's something we gotta think about. I also, talked with the chief about possibly him taking on some of that role. So there's I just want to bring up those options to get us through the short term.
I'd be willing to be on a committee for the search.
Mm-hmm.
To start with,
Good.
we can form a committee and give it a shot, see what turns up.
Yeah, and usually I mean, in the past, when we did it a couple times, I mean, the whole board was, kind of the committee, because obviously everybody wants input on it, so,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
yeah, so.
No, if we do it ourselves, would it be posted like, kind of like how job descriptions anyways, like Indeed and stuff like that? Like we put on Indeed, put it in the paper, put it on the website.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain, they have their own organizations
Yeah.
that you can, obviously post to those kind of things. LinkedIn, is usually something that a lot of managers or government employees are on, so you can do an ad on LinkedIn, that type of thing, so.
I think I heard Gary's talking about the, what was it, the event you guys were talking about going to?
IML?
Yeah, isn't there something there that we could post to that we're looking for administrator?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
we're gonna
I
be
mean,
all the towns
IML
around and maybe possibly.
Yeah, IML has, they also have I believe a job board or
Yeah.
whatever you
They
wanna
do.
call it.
I think
so-
since we're affiliated with the state, they would have something that would
Yeah.
help us around that way to do that or something
Yeah.
like that.
And then there's even, I mean, I think the first time we did, that I went through this, we advertised even on, like the national manager site, and, I mean, we actually, got quite a few, applications from around the country, but, then you gotta, most of those, you can, obviously you can do Zoom interviews and stuff, but if you get serious, then you have to pay expenses to bring people into interviews,
Right.
so that's a consideration too, and,
I think if we
So
can keep
anyway.
it more local. I mean,
yes,
not like-
definitely.
Yeah.
I just closed my eyes thinking about LinkedIn and all the applications you would have to fill, we would have to filter through, and the fees associated to that, but I do
Yeah.
like LinkedIn, but I believe we should probably go the more government route
Yeah.
of posting.
I know, like, I think in Beach when we hired, we did Indeed, and there'd be like a stack of people.
That
and
sounds cool.
The administrator, and the superintendent, that was their job to go
Yeah.
through it, and to window it down to the final six. Like, we got people in there that were doctors and dental, like, well, I already know that.
Right.
They just put in there to supply, so you already look and see, like, well, you already know that they're not gonna wanna leave what they're making to come make $16, $17 an hour at the village, so,
Right.
so.
I think that's kind of all I had. Do you guys have any questions about moving forward at all? Okay.
Would Amy's contract be the same as what the new contract would be for the, it basically just copy and paste would be this, or would it be a totally different contract?
I mean, it'd be a very similar
Oh, yeah,
one.
similar,
Yeah,
yeah,
mean,
I just
it's
didn't know.
As far as negotiating stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on, what we decide, it'd be a whole new negotiation, obviously,
Yeah.
with
I got
somebody.
you. Yeah, I didn't know if we had to do the whole thing all over again, or if it was kind of cut and
Probably
paste.
wouldn't be exactly the same, it depends on,
Yeah.
who the individual is.
Well, that's what we pay the attorneys for.
Yeah, we adjust it as would be necessary, but the
Yeah.
format and a lot of the provisions would be the same.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, I'd like to go into, I need a motion to go into closed session for discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body, in code 120-2C1. I need a motion for that.
Motion?
Moved by trustee Sandberg, second by trustee Richards.
Trustee Hudson,
Yes.
trustee Sturba,
Yes.
sorry, trustee Sandberg,
Yes.
trustee Richards.
Yes.
Trustee Maravka, yes.
And there will be no action after the executive session.